Hi, how are you? My name is Deepak, and I wanted to go over delayed job. This is a Ruby gem used for Rails. I think it's very cool. So what this means is it lets you take logic from your web application and execute it in the background in a non-blocking way so that the application runs separately and the background task runs in parallel. This diagram represents an example that I'm going to be using to show you delayed job. We have tweets stored in a model. Our users are going to be using the Twitter API to send replies to tweets, and we're going to be using delayed job so that the user can make many replies on tweets stored in our table. So the first step that we're going to do is add delayed job active record to the gem file. After that, run bundle install. By running gem list, I can see that delayed job active record has been installed to this project. The next step that we're going to do is run Rails generate delayed job active record and rake db migrate. This command creates the delayed job active record table, and jobs stored in this table get processed by workers. I'll get into workers in a little bit. I'll just show you the table. Once we have the table ready, the next step is to create the structure. These structures are nothing but simple Ruby objects with a method called perform. In our example, we're going to be adding the logic for making a tweet using the Twitter API inside the perform method. I'd like to now show the web application and explain how the code flows. On the top right, I've signed in using Twitter OAuth, so we can use the Twitter API and search for tweets. And I'm going to select some tweets as well as a template and perform a tweet reply action and click submit. This is going to invoke a post request called perform tweet action and passes in the parameters from the view to the controller in the form of a params hash. This is the code for the controller method. It receives the parameters from the view, and for each tweet creates a tweet action object and enqueues the tweet action job structure into the delayed job table using the delayed job.enqueue method, and the delayed job worker will call the perform method inside the tweet action job structure, which we will define now. We have to open Sublime Text and create a file in apps/models called tweet_action_job. The first method, run by the delayed job worker, is before job. This indicates that the job has started, but the logic is not processed. This method is followed by the perform method. In our case, it takes the tweet action object and makes the appropriate Twitter API call and updates the status and success only if there are any exceptions, so that the user can view it on the web page at a later time. If the perform method was successful and there are no exceptions, the after job method is called, which updates the status as complete and success as true. If perform is not successful, then the worker reruns the perform method for the value set in the max attempts field. After the max attempts have been reached, the failure method is called, after which, by default, the job is removed from the queue. So if we want to debug any failures, we can set destroy failed jobs to false, and then look up the last error field inside the delayed job table, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Now the job has been enqueued into the delayed job table. If we type delayed::job.all, we see there is a tweet action job object inside the delayed job table with the parameters passed from the controller. We can see the parameters by typing delayed::job.first.handler, and there are other parameters that we can look at, such as the last error and so on. The next step that we have to do is to run rake jobs work. This is the easy way to run the worker, and it runs the perform method of our tweet action job structure. If we're using Heroku, we have to create a dyno using the Heroku PS scale workers equals 1. However, we have to pay extra for creating a dyno, and this is not always desirable. If we're using a different server like DigitalOcean, we can run rake jobs work and use a monitoring gem such as Bluepill or I, which will restart the worker if it's terminated. The last thing I'd like to discuss is named queues. Named queues are useful and a good practice, and we simply have to use the queue parameter before we enqueue a job. And when running the rake command, use the queue followed by the queue name and then rake jobs work command. Thank you very much for listening to this tutorial. I look forward to hearing your feedback. Bye-bye.